How can you get more Airbnbs without owning the property in 2023? Well, we're going to talk about the two relationships you can build right now to bring those leads your way and explode your portfolio. Hey guys, welcome into the Fearless Investor Podcast. It's me, Kyle Stanley, and whether you're on the YouTube channel or the podcast, we welcome in and thank you for being a part of this. If you're not subscribed to one or the other, make sure you do. But if you really want to get the best experience on this, you're going to want to join our six-figure formula, and that's exactly where I recorded this video today. This was a training that I did in our six-figure formula group where people were able to ask questions and get their questions answered right away. You'll hear me reference a few of the people that are asking questions as we're going along with this, but that is by far the best way to experience this. And all you have to do is go to fearlesskyle.com/6FF to get all this taken care of and all of this experience to the max. So I also, in this talk today, talk about this profit calculator that we have. And if you're not wanting to be in the six-figure formula, that's okay. But we do have a free calculator that you can get at any time. You can go to fearlesskyle.com/calculator, and that will be a free download for you. Again, fearlesskyle.com/calculator. So just a backstory here. I built my business first with other people's properties by making cold calls and showing up to apartment complexes. I went on Zillow, I went on Hotpads, I went on Facebook Marketplace. I even went and got one deal on Craigslist. I know that sounds sketchy today, but back in 2019, it wasn't as sketchy. So this was the way that I got my first 4, 5, 6 units. But something pretty crazy happened. As I told people what I was doing, my network started to grow, and the people who told other people about me started to grow. They started to say, hey, you're going to do Airbnb? Kyle's the guy. You got to go talk to Kyle. Kyle has all the information. No, before you go buy that house, talk to Kyle. All of these people started coming to me, and I started noticing one thing in common. They were being introduced to me by realtors. Realtors were the number one people that were talking about me. And why is that? Well, you're going to find out when you listen to this today. We also are going to talk about how property managers can be a great source of deals as well. But again, whether you're looking to own, arbitrage, or co-host, you want to make relationships with both these types of people. And you're going to hear all about the value of that. You're going to hear how you make those relationships, how to find them, and how they can bring clients to you so that one day you're stopping the whole Zillow, Facebook Marketplace, and Craigslist side of things, and you're just waiting for your phone to ring with a lead that's excited to have you take over their property as a short-term rental. So without further ado, listen to this recording I did in our six-figure formula group talking about how you can get more Airbnbs in 2023 with realtors and property managers. Welcome in. We're talking today about how to pitch realtors and property managers to get more Airbnbs in 2023, going live here in the six-figure formula group. I'm probably going to repurpose this on YouTube and podcast as well. So if you're listening in on recording a little bit later, welcome in. And if you're not a part of the six-figure formula, you need to be, because we've got Dan here, we got Yvette here, we got a few others in the group that are going to be able to ask me questions as I'm going along with this. And every single week, right, we're going live with either a guest or a podcast, solo podcast like this, where I'm just adding value and continue to help you to grow in your business. Hello, Judy. Welcome in. Say hello if you're in the comments here. And again, I just asked you, put in the comments too, if you have done any deals or received any deals from a realtor or property manager. For those of you that are just jumping on, why do we want to make relationships with realtors and property managers, right? If we're doing Airbnb, especially all of the strategies, right? Not just owning the property, because a lot of people think, well, hey, it makes sense to network with a realtor because maybe they're going to have deals that go on the MLS, and before it goes on the MLS, maybe they'll send it to me. Or, hey, maybe there's a property manager with a current client that says, hey, I'm going to sell my property, and maybe that property manager will bring them to me. And yes, that's extremely valuable if we're looking to own only. But what about if we're looking to do arbitrage and co-hosting, and we get a realtor and or a property manager on our side that sees the value of what we're providing? Now that property manager, who might have hundreds of clients, has a wide net of people that will know about you, will know about what you're doing, what you're providing, right? That's powerful. How about a realtor who has a client that says, gosh, I just cannot figure out how people make money with real estate because mortgage rates are too high, purchase prices are too high. If I buy this property, I'm going to be negative cash flow. So how do I fix that? Well, I can either go and try to learn a whole new strategy of flipping or burning the property or buying creatively, but I'm a busy nurse, I'm a busy doctor, I'm a busy professional. I can't do that. Instead, why don't I go and hire someone to manage a short-term rental for me and actually cash flow? And that's the problems that we're solving for these realtors. Now they had an investor that couldn't buy a property. Now there's a wide sea of properties that they can go purchase and cash flow on if they do it as a short-term rental. That's the exciting part about this. So hi, Judy. She says, I'm excited to learn about this because most properties in San Diego are property managed. Okay, cool. So let's, the value again, guys, the value is that we bring in leads from this wide net of realtors, clients, or property managers, clients who are considering selling their property or considering buying a property. And you might be that person that they go to if you're even looking to own properties, or that property manager that maybe even gets leads from people that are saying, hey, we're just not making enough money, so I'm going to sell the property. Oh, wait, we do know a guy that does short-term rentals. Would you rather try it as a short-term rental? We can refer you to them. So all these leads coming in to our phone rather than us reaching out through Zillow, HotPads, Facebook Marketplace. This is the value. So the first question, right, is, to me, what is the next step? Like, how do I actually go and start conversations with these people? So the first thing I'm going to tell you is you need to define what your avatar property is. And what is an avatar property? An avatar property is essentially, as I'm about to share my screen, the perfect property in your area that people can go buy and hire you to manage or to arbitrage that property. So let me share my screen here. And let's pause for 1 second, because here's a great difference about making relationships with property managers and realtors. Some clients, some people who own houses will be interested in you arbitraging that property, right? Let's feel what their situations are. What are these people's situations? They either own the house or they're having a tough time buying a house that's going to cash flow. So most of them are going to say, okay, if I can spend an extra $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 to furnish the house and hire you to manage it, and I'll make, instead of $100 cash flow per month or negative cash flow as a long-term rental, I'll make $500, $600, $1,000 for you to manage it as a short-term rental. I can make those numbers make sense. I invest an extra $20,000, I make $1,000 per month. I'm making my money back right around month 20. Okay, I can understand that. I can get my mind around that, and then from there, I'm cash flowing still $1,000 a month. Some of them though say, hey, I don't want to spend that extra money on furniture. I want to be cash flowing from day one while buying this property as is. And so you can come in and say, well, I can either take all of the headaches out of having a long-term renter that's going to damage your property, that's going to pay you late, that's going to potentially squat. And oh, by the way, because I'm making money, I might be able to afford paying you an extra couple $100. You can do that. I've done that with a few people that were not interested in furnishing their own house. So you might get both ends, but most of the time they're going to come in and say, we want you to coast, we want you to manage this. And that's a great thing for you because you have $0 invested. $0 invested on coasting, arbitrage. You rent the house from them, you have that overhead, plus you have to furnish it yourself. That's the difference there. So what I'm going to do is, before I ever pick up the phone to talk to a realtor, I have to know, what is a deal? What does a deal look like in my area? So what I'm going to do, as I share my screen here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, first of all, use AirDNA. And I'm not going to show you guys how to use AirDNA today. If you have the course through the six-figure formula, you already know how to use AirDNA. Or if you are just a master of evaluation, you already know how to use AirDNA. But on AirDNA, right, we start looking through this and we start seeing, okay, what is a let's just start with a typical house, a 3-bedroom look like, and we can look and we can see each house individually. Wow, this one had a 42% occupancy at $270. And this one had a $231 per night plus at 64%. And we're going to find the ones that have the most in common, that are doing the best. All right. And that's going to take a decent amount of research. That's going to take a decent amount of looking into this and saying, okay, it looks like, just for example, let's just take this house. Again, I'm not going to show the how, I'm just giving you the concept here. Let's just say, for example, every house that we see that does well has a pool table and or a ping pong table and a game room, just like this one that you're seeing on your screen. And it has a little outdoor hangout. It's got some games, and it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, about, we can just take a guess, maybe 13 to 1500 square feet. Okay, cool. I've identified my avatar based on all of the research I've done on AirDNA and decided this is one of the best performing types of properties. Now, what is the average? Let's say I would take at least 3 to 5, ideally more like 5 or more averages, and say, okay, on average, those types of properties are doing X amount of dollars per night, and it's occupied X number of days out of the month. And we put that into our calculator that we also get from our course. And we see that this is my avatar property in Fresno, California. We have determined, and for those of you that are in Fresno, you're welcome. I just saved you thousands of, probably hundreds of hours of research. But a 123 Main Street, like, it's not a real address, but it's coming off the MLS here in May of 2023, a 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,200 square foot or more house with a pool and or a hot tub. That type of property is going to do about $225 per night and will be occupied roughly 24 to 25 days out of the month, meaning that it will gross right just over $6,000 per month. Pretty cool. Now, you get to those numbers, right? And now you have to decide, well, is that a deal for the person who's purchasing the house? So what am I going to do? I'm going to take that same house that we just found, and I'm gonna start looking on the MLS. So I'll go to Fresno and I'll see, okay, what does a 5-bedroom, 3-bath cost? And I'll start going through on this, and I'll start looking at, and I'm not looking for rent, I'm looking for sale. For sale, apply, and home type, and then probably on the filter a little bit more, must have a pool, right? Because we just determined that it has to have a pool. Or can we add a hot tub? That's possible as well. And the first thing I want to do is I want to see, well, can we do like a maximum price and say that there's something like under $500,000? And so 495 here's one that's possible. So what I can do now is I can take this and I can, and let's just assume for a second that the average price is right around that $495,000. Okay, then I go to a mortgage calculator and I'm going to put in $495,000 on a home price, which, by the way, a mortgage calculator, I just Googled mortgage calculator. Pretty easy. $495,000, putting down 20%, and I'm going to put like a 5.25 interest rate. So my mortgage is about $2,850 per month, and I'm going to put that in the calculator, $2,850, and on the purchase price, $495,000. All right, so if I get a $495,000 house as a realtor that has a pool or can add a hot tub onto it, then I know my client could potentially make $225 a night at 25 days booked, and that's $6,000 a gross, with all of the expenses of $2,800 for the mortgage, utilities, Wi-Fi, landscape, pest, and the management fee. I would actually keep out for now, right? I would actually remove this for now. So let's go ahead and zero that out. And I can see, hey, if my client buys this house, look at the cash flow that they could do. They could, and all of the costs included, and let's call this $100,000. Need to update that. they would spend about $125,000 up front for furnishing, consumables, and amenities, and then $100,000 down. They're going to spend $125,000. The calculator tells me they're going to make $2,500 a month, which comes out to $30,000 per year. That's a 25% return on investment. That's really stinking good. I'm excited about that. I want to go tell all my clients, hey, you could get a 25% return if you go buy this kind of house. So what are the clients going to do? They're going to go get excited because before, by the way, that same house that is a $2,800 mortgage for rent in Fresno, apply. Let's just say no max. Can we do no max? Any price. In Fresno, as we zoom in, there's only 4 available. One's for 4,000, one's for 8,000, which is almost, it's over a 5,000 square foot property. So it's not the same kind of property. This one's 3,500 and this one is 4,000 as well. So if I'm looking at this, I'm saying, okay, I would only cash flow about $1,200, $1,100 really, anywhere between $700 to $1,100 as a long-term rental. And all the risks that I take, especially in California, squatters, and I take deferred maintenance and paying late and all of these issues. And I've got to be the property manager. I got to deal with all that stuff. And I have all these headaches, right? Well, now I can go and buy a house and do it as an Airbnb. And now I can really 2.5x, maybe even 3 to 4x my net. Okay. So I've got this person now excited. If I'm a realtor and I've got a client and they said, hey, I'm only going to make like $500, $600 and this is too much of an investment. Okay. Now you're telling me I can make like $2,500 as a short-term rental. Cool. Let's go find one of those houses. They go find one of those houses. And what happens? Well, again, they're a busy doctor, they're a busy nurse, they're a busy professional. And they say, you know what? I'm dedicated to the short-term rental exit strategy, but I'm not quite dedicated to doing the work myself. Can I hire this out? Well, Mr. or Mrs. client of mine, because I'm the realtor, the person who told me about this, his name is Kyle. He's actually an established short-term rental operator, and he himself manages for other people. I can get you in contact with him if you'd like to. Yes, I'd love to, because we're in contract and I have no idea what I'm gonna do with this house. Boom, right? This is exactly what tends to happen if we get realtors excited about this. So again, the first step is identifying your avatar property. Let me bring up the comments. Give me some feedback here, guys. Yes, Norman, the calculator is in the members area. It's in the downloads. So give me some feedback here. Does that make sense? Put it in the comments. Tell me if you have any additional questions about that. Just recapping that, identifying your avatar property. The way to do that is to go to AirDNA, find the best properties. What do they have in common? What size are they? How many bedroom and bath counts? What special amenities do they have? Is there a location particularly that's in? Putting that into the, finding the averages of the nightly rate and the occupancy, and then putting that into the calculator, and then going and finding that property on the MLS. What's the price of it? Go and take that price, assume it's a 20% down payment in a mortgage calculator. What does that mortgage come out to? Put that in the calculator along with all the monthly expenses. Does it come out to be a profit? And does it come out to be a better profit than a long-term rental? Now, if the answer to that is no, then go and try it with, I just tried it with a 5-bedroom. Now try it with a 4-bedroom, try it with a 3-bedroom. Hey, it looks like this isn't going to work in this area. Okay, maybe there's a neighboring city. This is going to take some time for you to define what is a good avatar property that works for you, works for the realtor to get excited, and works for the realtor's client to get excited. This is going to be a win-win-win, right? You get the client, the realtor gets paid for the commission to sell the house. The client is happy because they're making more money with short-term rentals. So how do we now talk to the realtors? How do we reach out to them and start to say, this is something that I'd like to do with you, right? So the way that we're going to do that, first of all, is a first phone call. And actually the first way is we're going to find them. We need to find the realtors. We need to find the property managers. So there's 2 ways to do this. Number one, Let me share my screen again. I really like Realtor.com. And here's what I'm looking for on Realtor.com. On Realtor.com, I'm going to go to my area, Fresno. And I'm going to go to find realtors. Oh, apparently that didn't work. Fresno. Okay, find realtors. And here we go. I can see there's a guy named Danny. There's a woman named Sydney. There's Sophie. I can see there's someone named Casey. There's all these people in Fresno. Okay. And also next to their name is how much business they've done and how much business they're currently doing. All right. So Danny here has a lot of experience. He's sold 127 homes and he has 9 for sale. If I call Danny, how motivated is Danny going to be to do business with me? He's already got a lot of business going. He's established. He's got 9 houses for sale. He's probably not itching to spend a bunch of time trying to find a deal for you. Sydney, she's got 4 for sale. She's done 29 sales. She probably is also decently busy, but less busy than Danny. I might call Sydney, but how about Sophie? Sophie has sold 4 houses. She's got 1 for sale right now. It says that she's got 10 years of experience. I would ignore the experience because sometimes people get their real estate license and don't do anything with it for 9 years. But that might be someone that has 1 active listing and is talking to her husband at night of like, how am I going to get more clients? How am I going to get more active listings? I've got all these people that are telling me they want to buy houses, but they want to wait until it's a better market, or that they're just really like I can't even get anyone to listen to me because they don't think it's a good time to buy a house. So if I call Sophie, which is her phone number is right there, and I say, hey, Sophie, I found your information on Realtor.com. Looks like you're an active realtor here in Fresno. Is that right? Awesome. Well, hey, it's great to meet you. My name's Kyle. I'm just wondering, like, how much are you trying to grow your business right now? Are you doing this full time or are you doing this part time? Well, I'm doing it full time. And, I was actually just having a conversation with my husband the other night. And we're trying to get more clients. It's just tough right now. The market's weird. I totally agree with you on that. I'm actually helping some other realtors to sell more houses right now by looking at the short-term rental route. Would you have you ever sold a short-term rental to one of your clients? No, I haven't actually. You're talking about like Airbnb, right? Yeah, exactly. Like Airbnb. Well, I can sit down with you and I can show you, if you'd like, how a lot of these people that maybe don't think they can buy a house right now actually can buy a house if they were going to do the short-term rental route instead of long-term rentals. Well, Kyle, I don't know that my clientele is necessarily investors. I don't know that, I'm just giving a little bit of devil's advocate here. Mine is more of the first-time home buyer. Hey, that's totally okay, Sophie. If you're not the person to talk to, that's fine. But it looks like you work at Iron Key Real Estate. I'm willing to bet there's someone over there that's selling to investors. Oh yeah, I've got this other person in my office, yada, yada, yada. Okay, great. I would love an introduction to them, right? Like if it's not Sophie, they probably know a realtor that is doing investment properties. But if it is Sophie and she says, yes, I've always been interested in selling more properties through short-term rentals, I just don't have the information to go off of, I'd love to meet with you. Boom. That's an easy first phone call. Let's set a lunchtime. I'd love to sit down with you and talk to you, Sophie, about this. At that lunch meeting, guys, I am busting out a pre-made presentation, which wink, wink, is in the course. So much value I'm giving you in that course. Go use it. Downloadables. It's the presentation for realtors. If you don't like that, the layout, you can go and remake it yourself however you'd like. But go through the positives, go through the risks, go through the rewards of doing short-term rentals, and then you go into, here's what the perfect property looks like in Fresno. And you show them, look at what they could potentially make. Look at the return they could potentially have. Does this meet what you think your clients would have a goal of? Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. Okay, do you know any clients right now they're looking to buy? Yes, I've got one. Her name is Jean. Jean has been trying to buy one, just can't make the numbers work out. Great. Show this to Jean and go find this property for Jean. And oh, by the way, if Jean decides that she doesn't want to do this herself and she wants to hire the work out or just needs some help, I'd love to be that person that you introduce her to. Absolutely. You've given me so much value here today. You've got me excited about this. Of course, if Jean has any questions, I'm going to send her to you. Now, of course, when Jean comes over, you're going to have a 15, 20, 25% management fee, and that's going to take out $1,000 to $1,500, and it's going to hurt the bottom line. But in that conversation, right, and when I have lots of co-hosting sample meetings for you guys to go check out, I have the entire script of that in the course. You're going to pitch to them in a much different way than what I'm showing you right now, but they're already so on board with short-term rentals that they're like, yeah, if it costs me $1,000 a month for you to manage this and this be off my hands, I'm still making money and I'm still excited about it. You're having the realtor do the work for you. They come to you warm. They come to you excited. Hey, I heard you're the go-to guy. That's exactly how I've built my business here. Okay. So going back to the comments here, seeing if there's any questions. Where did you go? Where did you go? Where's my Facebook? Sorry, 1 second, guys. I have lost Facebook. I think I see it. I think it's in the background there. All right, there it is. So much value in the course, says Judy. Hey, Tiffany, thanks for joining on. I remember you had one guest on before. We talked about 10% down vacation home or something like that. Yeah, you can also do 10% down second homes. You only have one of, if I'm correct, you only have one of those loans available to your name. You can also go and buy a property from a wholesaler and then refinance it and BRRRR it. And I'm not going to go into all those strategies right now. That's not the point of all of this. The point of this is how to get more realtors, how to get more property managers in your network. Judy says, I love how this turns into a warm lead and they want us. Exactly, Judy, you're getting it. You get this. If I wanted to continue to do Zillow all day long and go and sell people, I'm telling you, you're going to have to, make a whole nother branch. You're going to have to either run Facebook ads, or you're going to have to hire a salesperson or hire a marketing person. And that's going to be a major cost. This is the way that you have $0 of marketing costs by having realtors and property managers refer people to you. Now, I know we've mainly focused on realtors. We'll get to property managers here in a second, but one optional next step with that realtor. So rewind, we've identified our avatar property. We've found a realtor that we can pitch this to. We made that first call. We then sat down with them and pitched them this. They're excited. They go talk to their client. Okay. Then the optional third way is, hey, Sophie, you work at Iron Key Real Estate. I'm betting that your company probably has like a monthly lunch and learn where you bring in outside people. Oh yeah, we have that all the time. Awesome. I would love to come and talk to your entire office about this. Is that okay? Yes, let me get it set up. And now you not only have Sophie, you have all of her real estate office knowing your name, your brand, and how you can help. And again, notice, back up for a second. Are you hearing me at all going and talking and picking up the phone and saying, hey, Sophie, found your information online. I run yada, yada, yada rental management company. We do short-term rentals and I would love to manage for your clients, yada, yada. No, I'm not doing any of that. I'm not even talking about my property management, my short-term rental property management company until Sophie says, oh my gosh, this is a great return for my client. I'm going to go tell my client. And how deep into this relationship are we at this point? We're so deep. We've had multiple phone calls. We've met in person. I've shown the presentation. And then at that point, I say, by the way, if you and your client do not want to do the management yourself, just have them call me. It's as simple as that. One of our most successful students, right? Halame now has over 70 units. In the very first few, he was in sales mode. He was going, and he's told me this multiple times. He was going to the real estate offices. He was doing the lunch and learns, but it was all about his property management company. It was all about, here's what we do, here's what we do, here's what we do. no excitement, no one reaching out saying, let me get you introduced to yada yada. I told them, you're doing it the wrong way. You're doing 95% pitch, 5% value. Flip that around. Do 95% value, 5% pitch. As soon as he did that, boom, leads starting to come in. People starting to say, I'm excited to introduce you to my clients. When you give value and you expect nothing in return, it will be automatically returned to you tenfold. That is the idea of an abundance mindset over a scarcity mindset or a sales pitch mindset. Okay. So very simple, guys. We've made this extremely simple for you. Okay. You identify the avatar property, you find the realtor, you talk to the realtor on the phone, you then meet with the realtor in person, and then you optionally ask them, can I speak at one of your offices coming up here soon? Meanwhile, they're going talking to their clients about your idea of short-term rentals. If there's any questions on that, let me know. This is a numbers game. You're going to do this. You're going to just rinse and repeat. 1 to 2 new realtors every single week. If you can add 1 to 2 new realtors like Sophie, right? Again, going through realtor.com, and we saw we're not looking for the guy with 20 listings. We're not looking for the guy with even 5 listings. We're looking for the person with 1, 2, maybe 3 listings that is probably hungry for more business. Now, property managers, and I'll kind of end it here, and this is very simple. The biggest mistake people make with property managers is they try to pitch the property manager about the property that's listed on Zillow. That's not what you want to do. So first of all, how do you find them? I'm going back to sharing my screen here. All right, I'm on Zillow, right? The same houses that were shown for rent. I'm probably not looking at the $8,000 house in Fresno. That's just, they're already asking for too much. This one for $3,500. It's almost 3,000 square feet. It's got 5 bedrooms, 3 baths. And I believe I did say it needs to have a pool. It has a pool. And who's it listed by? It's listed by the property owner. Lucky us. Gurmit. I might go ahead and call Gurmit and tell him, hey, I see that you're trying to rent this property for $3,500 a month. What if I could get you $6,000 a month? After my management fee, that's more like $5,000 a month, but it's still $1,000 to $1,500 more than what you're currently trying to get as a long-term rental. That's great. Property, or not a property manager, but a property owner. But some of these are going to have the property manager. Believe it or not, most of the time it is property manager. I just am lucky enough to find the first 2 are actually property owners, and that's awesome. I'm interested in actually calling these people right after this. 3 in a row, holy cow. So apparently these bigger ones are actually listed by the property owners, but a lot of times these are listed by a property management company. And I want to see if I can find at least one just to show you guys. Granville Realty, here we go. This is a property manager. So if I were to reach out to Granville Realty, the thing I would not do is call them and say, hey, I saw your property at 2768 North Highland Avenue. I'm wondering if your owner of that property is interested in maybe doing long-term rentals instead, or sorry, short-term rentals instead of a long-term rental. No, we don't do that here. Click. Okay, great. Granville Realty, they're a dead lead. That's what we're thinking in our head. That's not the case. If we had instead reached out and said, hey, saw your property on 2768 North Highland. I'm wondering, did this person at any point consider doing this as a short-term rental instead of long-term rental? We don't know because we don't do that here. No problem. You guys don't do that there. That's absolutely fine. Do you ever get calls from people wanting to do short-term rentals? Yeah, we get them every once in a while, but like I said, we don't do them. Okay, no problem. Can I show up to the office and just put a face to the name? I have a short-term rental management company here in town. We can take those leads when you get them, and we can pay you for those leads. So now they're not a dead lead. Now you're actually getting paid for it. Oh, well, yeah, we don't have a short-term rental person that we refer them to. We didn't even know that anyone's really doing that. So yeah, we'd love to potentially make some money. Okay, cool. When's a good time I can show up to the office? It's the big fish mentality, or it's the, I guess, multiple fish in a big lake mentality versus one fish in a small pond mentality. If I'm reaching out just to get the deal, the property manager is going to hang up. If I'm reaching out to develop a relationship with that property manager and pay them for sending leads that are usually dead for them to me, I'm probably going to at least entertain a conversation and have some leads come my way. I have done this with multiple property management companies. I have received multiple leads from multiple property management companies. I think a few of them have panned out, 2 or 3, but for me, again, most of my actual work goes into the realtors, because the realtors are the ones that are really excited. If I can give a property manager $500 to $1,000 for a lead, cool. But if I can help a realtor go sell a $400,000 house and they're going to make 3%, well, they're going to make, $10,000 to $12,000 on that sale. They're a little bit more motivated to go and talk about me. All right. So that is the spiel there, guys. I'm going to look at the questions or comments in the Facebook group really quick. Tiffany says, crushing it. Thank you, Tiffany. Judy, do you see them asking why I am approaching them with this invaluable information and not letting them know what we do? Do you see them asking why I am approaching them with this invaluable information and not letting? Well, you're transparent about it, right? You're not just reaching out and saying like, hey, I don't have a property management company. I just want to give you this value for free. No, Judy, you're reaching out and saying, I have this property management company, but I'd like to show you how you can sell more houses. I'm not focusing on what they can do for me. I'm focusing on what I can do for them, right? I'm focusing on the value that I can provide for them rather than me saying, here's what I do, here's what I do, here's what I do. That's just the difference. It's not about hiding anything. It's not about like having a hidden agenda. It's about being transparent on the front end. Yes, we have a short-term rental management company. Yes, we do that. However, I'd like to sit down and just show you how you could sell more houses to your clients. Would you be interested in knowing that? Right? I'm going to focus on value first before anything else. Have you ever done this with realtors or property managers that are not local to you? Yes, we have. Absolutely. It's the same conversation. The only difference is instead of me taking them to coffee or lunch, I'm going to take them to a virtual coffee or lunch on Zoom. It's really the only difference. And then if they have, it's tougher to do a lunch and learn with the entire office, but with technology today, you can absolutely virtually do a meeting with the entire office. Great questions from Judy and from Norman. Does anyone else have any other questions before we end this thing? I hope this has been very valuable for you today. This is your key to growing a short-term rental business without owning the property quickly. But one thing I will say, these are seeds you're planting. You're planting these seeds and they're going to grow over time. They're going to expand. People are going to send you one lead and it might take 3 months and then it doesn't pan out. And then a month later, they send you another lead. It still doesn't pan out. They send you that third lead. Hey, this one worked out. They bought a house. I'm so excited. And then before you know it, they've got 3 leads coming a month and they got 5 leads coming a month. This is how this grows. You have to be patient with this process and let the seed be planted and grow into something beautiful. In the meantime, the lowest hanging fruit is what I just showed you on Zillow. You notice how we saw the property owners? That's the low hanging fruit. They want results right now. They're looking to rent their house or sell their house right now. You can solve their problem right now if you reach out to them. They are the ones that can make quick decisions right away. So this is why we need to do both. We need to plant the seeds that will eventually lead to our phone ringing and us not having to ring and look on Zillow. Meanwhile, we're doing those things. We're ringing the phone and calling people from Zillow and Hotpads and Facebook Marketplace. while we're building up our active leads, our passive leads start to slowly grow. And before we know it, we have more passive leads than active leads. And we say, let's shut down having to do all these phone calls with active leads. I'm tired of cold calling. I've got so many passive leads coming in. I don't need to do the active lead calling anymore. Or you just hire that out and have someone else do the active lead calling. Up to you. All right, guys, that's going to do it here. Thanks for jumping on. If you have any other questions and you watch later, please comment in the comments. We'll go ahead and get that answered for you, but appreciate all of you being here. We'll see you next time.